I could put some oxygen in my water.
Oh, all right. Hope you got your notebooks ready. Got your heart prepared. Getting ready to receive. Hallelujah. Make sure you hit that mute button on there, on that YouTube page. Yeah. All right. So will I.
Okay. Okay, we good? Okay. All right, we're at part 10 of probably a 50. All right. So understanding the whole book, part 10. All right, so the rules for this lesson, please keep your mics muted except when asking or answering a question. Use the mic to speak. There is a feature in the room where you can raise your hand if you have any questions. All questions must be on the topic. You have 60 seconds to ask or answer a question. If you pass your 60-second window, your mic will be muted for you. And of course, this is due to live recordings and things like that. All right. So in this lesson here, there's going to be questions. I'm just asking you guys some answers. Okay, some of these questions, answers you guys already know. So we'll see how that goes. All right, so now we're in the book of Yirmiyahu. We'll do Yirmiyahu and Ezekiel. Daniel's a little bit longer, so I'll figure out, say that for next week. All right, so Yirmiyahu, Jeremiah 23:5 says, behold, the days come, saith Yahuah, that I will raise unto those a righteous branch. Now the word there for branch is samach, and it means sprout, growth, vegetation, shoot, descendant, offspring. So that branch, as you see, is dealing with some agricultural things. I hope everyone can see that this is always going back to that garden principles where they're supposed to come out of this garden and spread the seed and create this utopia. All right, it says, and the king shall reign and prosper and shall execute judgment and justice in the earth. So if you think about what this branch is going to do, or this shoot, or this vegetation is going to be on all the earth. So imagine this whole earth going to be operating like a garden. Okay. All right. In his days, Yehudah shall be saved, and Israel or Yisrael or Israel shall be dwell safely. And this is his name whereby he shall be called. What is that name? Yahuah Sidchanu, right? Sidchanu, which is Yahuah our righteousness. All right. So again, he's going to be a righteous branch. He's going to be called Yahuah our righteousness. Okay. All right. So they say still unto them that despise me, Yahuah has said, you shall have peace. And they say unto everyone that walks after the imagination of his own heart, no evil shall come upon you. Who would say that? Okay. Okay. Oh, you got it? Okay. All right. So it says that for who has stood in the counsel of Yahuah and has perceived and heard his word? Who has marked his word and heard it? That's the question. Who has done all these things? Now, if man can't say he was there when all this happened, then what does that mean we must do? Faith, right? Belief. You just have to have faith. You just got to have belief. All right. I'll drop it down this way. All right. So, behold, a whirlwind of Yahuah is gone forth in fury. And even a grievous whirlwind, it shall fall grievously upon the head of the wicked. The anger of Yahuah shall not return until he has executed, until he has performed the thoughts of his heart in the latter days. There's your latter days. Everyone remember how you say that in latter days? You shall consider it perfectly. Verse 27. For I know your rebellion. We got to talk about rebellion. And your stiff neck. Behold, while I am yet alive with you this day, you have been rebellious against Yahuah, and how much more after my death? Gather unto me all the elders of the tribes and your officers, that I may speak these words in their ears and call heaven and the earth to record against them. For I know that after my death, you will utterly corrupt yourselves and turn aside from the way which I have commanded you, and evil will befall you in the latter days, because you will do evil in the sight of Yahuah to provoke him to anger through the works of your hand. Okay, so how does this work? Anyone? Take a. What do you mean? What is he prophesying here? And do we fit any three of these things?
Ken, all of them.
Yes. Oh, we do.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. So some of us
they were rebellious. We were rebellious. They were stiff-necked. We were stiff-necked.
They were corrupt.
They were corrupt. We are corrupt.
Okay.
And we provoke him constantly through the works of what we do, our actions.
Okay.
Or our non-actions.
Okay. So that means we might have to define these words, because some of us, that's not me.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that's not me. None standing in a need or something. All right, we'll see. All right, so understanding what stiff-necked and rebellious means, and then we'll go into corrupt. All right, so two things go together in these two passages. When Israel walked after their own heart and imagination, this caused stiff-neck and rebellion. Okay, so these things cause the anger of Yahuah. One causes the other. Okay, so if you're going to be stiff-neck and rebellion, it's going to cause Yahuah to react. Okay, does everyone understand how that works? All right. So what does it mean to be stiff-necked, rebellious, and corrupt? Now you have to answer yet. One to find first. The word for stiff-necked, right? So stiff-necked word there is kashe oref. Kashe oref, right? Yeah, I think someone's recording at the top, right? Okay. Okay, that's all good. No worries. I could bring it down in the verb form here. Kasha, which means to be hard, to be hardened, to be stiff-necked. In its adjective form, stiff-necked, harsh, cruel, stubborn. Is any of us harsh, cruel, or stubborn? No? None of us, right? Okay, great. I'm glad. I'm so glad you guys got this. All right. Now, mind you now, this is the word for something hard, like zekashe. Is it hard? Is this hard? That's how you say it in modern Hebrew, is kashe. Okay. But at any rate, so we see it's in two parts. The first part you see is someone that is kind of harsh, kind of cruel, kind of stubborn. Okay. They call that stiff-necked. The second part of that word there, oref, says back of the neck, fleeing a foe, the sense of direction. Okay, so it's not technically literally like the back. The Hebrew word for back is gav, right? So this is actually like a direction you're doing. You're literally hardening and turning your neck towards away from the Father. You're turning from him. Okay, so I say, hey, I might need some examples of this. Jeremiah 2:27 says, say to a stock, you are my father, and to a stone, you have brought me forth. For they have turned their back unto me and not their face. But in the time of their trouble, they will say, arise and save us. So you turn from them when, you know, I don't need you right now. But then when some trouble comes your way, hey, Father, I need you. You are the best. I am so sorry. Please help me out.
I prayed, you didn't answer my prayer.
So, but again, I know it's none of us here online, so we should be good to go. Let's give you another one. Yahuah 32:33 says, they have turned to me their back and not their face. And though I have taught them how? Persistently, right? They have not listened to receive instructions. Okay, so I'm glad there's this group of people in the path to Yahuah that does none of this. So we should be good to go. Huh? So again, look at us as we operate as a we're not a nation. So just so we're clear, right? We're not operating as a nation. So we're operating as individuals, right? And then when we come together, sometimes either we're pretending or we have a desire to do that and we're trying to force ourselves into it. Something is happening. Just keep that in mind. All right, rebellious. So rebellious is the word moreh, which means the word for bitter. The word bitter is the same word for rebellious. Okay. Now, bitterness, as never bitterly angry, disputed matters, or you dispute matters, have contention. The root of that word, like rebel, to be disobedient, to have grief. Okay, rebellious. Okay, so has anyone get to this point, or past tense? I'm not talking about present, because I know it's nobody online or anything or here. So past tense, have you ever been across any of these things? Have you ever always liked to dispute a matter?
Oh, yeah.
Can.
Yes.
It's me.
Okay.
Can.
Yep.
Bitter, anger. Yeah. It's me.
Have contention,
Rebellious. That's me.
disobedient.
That's me.
He
Grief.
told me to do it. I'm going to do it this way. Right?
That's me.
Okay.
All the time.
Can.
All right. All right. Devarim 9:23. Likewise, when Yahuah sent you from Kadesh Barnea, saying, "Go up and possess the land which I have given you," then you rebelled against the commandments, or the commandment of Yahuah your Elohim, and you believed him not, nor hearkened to hear his voice. You have been rebellious against Yahuah from the day that I knew you. Okay, so it's strange. If you notice, from the time they were in Mitzrayim to the time they got to the promised land, they were very rebellious over it. So, but ask yourself why? Why are they rebellious? You want to take a reason? Anyone know why they're rebellious?
Because
Maybe
there
it
was
wasn't. Go ahead.
Because they were so useful.
You're so beautiful.
Go ahead, Yoko.
You said so evil. Okay. Anyone else?
I believe that they still had Mitzrayim in them, and
Okay.
that they still needed to get purged. So they when the trials came upon them, they were so quick to blame Moshe because their faith, it lacked faith because they seen the signs, and they thought it was gonna be an easy ride, but they didn't know the whole time the Father was testing them, to see whether they'll keep his word. So when Charles befell them, they were like, oh man, at least I wish it was in Egypt. At least when we was in Egypt, we had In-N-Out, we had fried chicken over there. We could have just died over there, right? But then why you gonna bring us to the? You brought us out to the. You brought us to the wilderness.
They got it in. Okay. Anyone else?
Could it be because they was contentious? They was comfortable in their own setting. They had got used to it. So anything that come to upset you, we know that anything that come to upset what we believe in, we kind of like be stubborn, back neck, stiff neck, and all of that. So that's what my take on it. They were just comfortable where they was at. They didn't want to leave, but he promised that he would come and get them.
Okay.
Susan has something to say.
In my experience.
and they didn't want to listen to direction. They didn't want to listen to direction. They wanted things to go the way they wanted them to go.
Okay.
In my own life.
It was learned behavior from their parents.
Okay.
Spirit.
Okay.
I think part of it is also disbelief. Like they saw what was going on in front of them. They saw the cloud and so on, but you're not fully understanding exactly what's happening. And for that reason, it's like you see something, but you just can't believe it. So you just like, okay, whatever, you kind of dismiss it in a way.
Okay.
Right. And fall back into your old ways, the learned ways that you've learned from your parents and so forth and so on.
Okay. All right. So here's what I want you guys to get from when he says the day that I knew you. So what winds up happening, could you imagine that the things that they went through in Mitzrayim or in Egypt created their personality, created a way that they were, right? If they're trying to kill them, if they put them in bondage, if they're in a captivity, they're the lowest thing on the totem pole, all of this stuff, they had some issues. And not only that, the nation that they were in didn't like them. Okay, so I want us to make sure that we're paralleling this because it says it's going to happen again, right? So imagine us today, right? Going through all of these things, right? Some of us are going to be angry. Some of us are going to be rebellious. Some of us are going to have some issues, right? So I want us to see that he knew that way, but he said, I still love you because I love you first. So I'm hoping that if I take you out of a place and I can show you this love, that you'll be willing to change and get rid of the things that you've been through. And not only that, you now even have to learn how to love them. Okay, is everyone with me so far?
Remember that you was a stranger.
He said, you and I do like they did to you. Okay, so keep that in mind. Number 2 here. Psalm 78:7 says, that they might set their hope in Elohim and not forget the works of Elohim, but keep his commandments and might not be as their father. So everything that's written before us is for our understanding, right? Okay, so we don't want to be like that. How were they? Stubborn, rebellious generation, a generation that set not their heart aright. Now, when it says aright, the word there in the Hebrew is hakim, meaning they were not what? To be firm, right? Their hearts were not firm. They were not established, right? So he says, and whose spirit was not steadfast. Now, the steadfast there in the word is in the Hebrew there, na'amna, which you would give for the word amen or aman or emunah, all those share the same root. To be trusted, to have, to be certain, to have belief with Elohim. Okay, so he's asking us to not be like the forefathers, right? He wants us to keep his commandments. He doesn't want us to be stubborn. He doesn't want us to be a rebellious generation. Okay, so he's saying, listen, I want you to have this firm heart. I want you to be steadfast in endurance and trust and be firm in him. That's what he wants. But the opposite was with the forefathers. So he's giving us the example of, listen, if you do the opposite of what they did, then we can have a conversation. We can have a relationship. Is everyone with me so far? Okay. 1 Samuel 15:23. For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry, because you have rejected the word of Yahuah. He has also rejected you from being king, right? So rebellion is as what? Okay, is as the sin of witchcraft. Right. So in the rebellion, you can create witchcraft in your rebellion. Okay, does everyone understand what I'm getting at? So when you start rebelling, how can I get back at that person? How can I do this? You start creating a witchcraft type mentality, right? Now you're like, I wonder if I do this, would that make them hurt? Would that make them? You got this witchcraft mentality. Is everyone with me so far? All right. Then the stubbornness creates this iniquity. I don't want to do that. I'm not doing that. I refuse to do that. Now you're doing iniquity, because if you tell you to do something, you don't do it, you create iniquity. Okay? All right. So how do you corrupt yourself? So if you don't know how, then that's probably the problem.
Being disobedient to the word of Yahuah.
Okay, being disobedient. Okay.
Not doing the will of the Father.
Not doing the will of the Father.
Continuing in those old ways
Continuing old ways. Okay.
and actions.
Your actions. Okay. So let's look at corruption. Corruption. The word there for in the Hebrew is shachat. Shachat. To be corrupt, be marred, be ruined, pertaining to an object being in a ruined state, implying the object is now useless. Okay, get your scripture for that. In the Peel form means to destroy, ruin, ravage, devastate, bring to ruin, blemish, corrupted, marred, be ruined morally, as so be in an impure state, as a figurative extension of an object being in a ruined or decayed condition, to become corrupt. Okay, so we have the definition, right? Let's look at some examples. So when you allow unrighteous, unfiltered information into your life, your spirit, your soul, your flesh, your heart, you cause yourself to be corrupted. Okay, is everyone with me so far? So if you're going to allow unrighteousness in your domain, if you're going to unfiltered information, what is unfiltered information?
Not just about Torah.
Okay.
Everything we see on the internet, pretty much.
Anything in the internet?
Or
Okay.
TV or music.
Okay. So I want you to understand, sure, it can come in those forms. But when I say unfiltered information, imagine what is the filter? The word, right? So if the word is the filter and someone's giving you information that's not in the word, it's unfiltered information that you're allowing in your system. And then now you're battling something. You're battling something that you're trying to find, you're trying to use your filter with unfiltered information. So it's not enough if you say, well, I haven't read that. Yeah, but where can I find, but it don't exist. Yeah, but what am I supposed to say if it's not there? You see, in other words, you're coming from a righteous standpoint, meaning I'm going to use this word to show them something, but they're trying to show you something that's not even in the word and tell you that's the way to do it.
Got you.
It's unfiltered, right? So if you're unfiltered, you're going to think about when you have, you got tea drinkers, right? Coffee drinkers. If you don't have a filter in there, what happens when you pour that thing in?
Coffee grinds all in there.
Thing just thumping inside your thing. Boom, boom, just this stuff going inside there, all kinds of stuff in there. And you're going to drink it? No? Oh, okay. All right, keep that in mind. So you might want to make sure you have a filter. When you have corruption already in you or have inherited it, your spirit, your soul, your flesh, and your heart must fight to remove this corruption. The only way this can be achieved is only by faith. Your endurance in your faith in Yahuah is needed to be an overcomer. Right? So some people, hey, I'm going through something. How can I get out of it? And they might want this magical pill. Right? If you just give me that, can I get it at GNC or Amazon? You just tell me what I need. I pop it in my mouth. Or I may get some marijuana cookies and make it just go away somewhere. Yeah.
It don't go away.
It's gonna be somewhere far in the far land. It's gone. It's done. All right. All right. So at the end of the day, you gotta understand that you still have to overcome that corruption within you. That has to happen, and you have to do it by faith. Sometimes we want to take control. Some things out of your control. It's just not in your control to do. It's in the Father's control. But he said, hey, just have faith in who? Have faith in that man. Have faith in that sister.
Yahuah.
Oh, okay. Have faith in Yahuah. And then you got to start this endurance thing. Right? All right. So we're good. All right. Corruption does not care about you. So I want to make sure we're clear. Corruption does not care about you. Those who use corruption to achieve their goal or goals cannot be used for the purpose of Yahuah. Okay, it just can't happen. So now if someone's is advocating corruption and putting corruption on you, then you should know that that person must not care about you neither. Okay, you can't hang around corrupted people and think you're not going to be a part of this corruption. All right. We'll keep going. Yirmiyahu 23:17 says, they say still unto them that despise me. We're going to talk about despise in a minute. Yahuah has said, you shall have peace. And they say unto everyone that walks after the imagination of his own heart, no evil shall come upon you. You know, I need to go ahead and order that scripture. I want to order that scripture because this always keep talking about what he's doing. What about her? Say, I need that book. I need that universal book. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. We gotta look at this. Yeah. I think the writer didn't know what was happening when he wrote this. All right. Anyway, for who has stood in the counsel of Yahuah and has perceived and heard his words? Who has marked his word and heard it? Behold, a whirlwind of Yahuah has gone forth in fury, even a grievous whirlwind. It shall fall grievously upon the heads of the wicked. And then it says, can any hide himself in secret places that I shall not see him? Saith Yahuah.
Lord.
Do not I fill heaven and earth? Says Yahuah. So what does that mean to you?
Can't hide nothing from him.
Okay, there's no hiding, right? There's no secret, there's no hiding.
Everything.
Right? He knows. Oh, you too late? You day late and a dollar short. Okay. Oh, she'll talk to herself, she said. It's coming out of her. All right. All right.
Mic everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're going to get some wireless mics and put on everybody. We should be good. All right. What does despise mean?
You dislike.
Now, I'm just sharing with you guys
Dislike.
these words because I know we're very fast to go find Webster's dictionary.
To
Here you go.
despise means to highly hate or to highly dislike.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, so I want you to notice that all the definitions I'm giving you guys is from the language, be it from the Hebrew or the Aramaic or the Greek, whatever. But I'm trying to get their definition first. Right? Okay, so let's look at a couple of definitions here. The Hebrew there is na'as. It's close to something, but don't you do that. Okay, so despise means to reject, spurn, i.e. feel contempt or strong dislike for an object, rejecting as having little or no value, either or both by words and actions, to treat disrespectfully, right? So now, and when it says they despise Yahuah, we're thinking, you know, maybe this King James, oh, they just can't stand Yahuah. Is that what they're doing? No, they're doing, they're trying to find the value in some of the things he say and he don't say. I like this, I don't like that. I'm rejecting this, but I will take that, right? So having little or no value either in both by words, what comes out of your mouth, or actions, the things that you do. Okay, and you treat it how? Honorably. Oh, disrespectfully. So you're disrespecting his words, his word by your action. Is that good to do?
No.
Okay.
Your prayers become an abomination.
Okay.
Have mercy.
All right. All right. So just mind you now, because we're not trying. Now, mind you, everything that we're doing, he's talking about latter day things. So that must mean he's giving us this chance to get it right, to fix these things that are rebellious, stiff-necked, corruption, despising him, all this stuff. We got to figure out how are we doing that now, right? It's good to read about what they did over there and say, oh, that was them at their time. That's not us now. We're good. Let's just wait, sit back and endure. Is that what we're supposed to be doing? Okay, let's look at some examples. But Midbar Numbers 14:11 and 16:30 says, and Yahuah said unto Moshe and Moses, how long will this people provoke me? It's translated as provoke in the King James. So when we think about despise, we think of it strong. But what about someone, he provoked me, right? He or she, huh?
He made me do it.
Right. He made me do that. She made me do that. All right. So the people, he provoked me. And how long will it be? And this is ere they believe me. I really don't like that translation. The word ere there is the Hebrew word lo. Okay, lo, as in not, no or not, right? And then belief there, technically trust. So technically is how long will they what? They will not trust me. Okay, for all the signs which I have shown among them. 16:30 says, but if Yahuah makes a new thing, and the earth opens her mouth, y'all know the story, okay, and swallows them up with all that, what's that, appertain unto them, and they go down quickly into the pit, then you shall understand that these men have provoked. How did they provoke Yahuah though? How did he despise him? So everyone's familiar with this story. How did they do it to Yahuah?
They question Yahuah's authority.
There we go. So now it's when you do that to who he has placed in authority. I know that's a strong word. Authority. Are you serious? We all brothers here. You ain't over me. We don't have no leaders. Right? Okay. So remember, because Korach felt like what? I'm a Levite too. Man, didn't he talk to all of us? You see what I mean?
Say it again, Moreh.
So there's an order. There's an order to things, right? And if we believe in it, because if you don't, then you provoke Yahuah from what he's telling the brother or the sister to do, right? And we'll see that a little later on. Okay, is everyone good with this so far? All right, let me keep going because I see some. All right, so Mishlei of Proverbs 1:3 says, they would none of my counsel, they despise all my, what is reproof? Okay, we know it, right? What is reproof? Okay, I know, just a refresher.
Correction.
Okay, good. The Hebrew there is, now mind you, look at the accent at the top. So that tells you where the emphasis is at, right? So kakat, right? Right, but the emphasis now is on this accent, so it's what? Tokakat. Right, so since the emphasis on the kaf here is tokakat, right? So anyway, argument, rebuke, reproof, correction, right? And then, of course, some of the address that we all are familiar with, Mishlei of Proverbs 6:23, for the commandments is a lamp, and the law is light, and reproof of instructions are the way of life. Then you go to 10:17, and it says, he is in the way of life that keeps instructions, right? Those that keeps instructions, but he that refuses reproof errs. Okay, so you gotta have reproof. You gotta have correction, right? Righteous correction, righteous reproof, right? Everyone's with me. That, I gotta try to use it for my gain or for my benefit. Okay, all right. Then of course you find it in 2 Timothy 3:16. All scripture is given by inspiration of Elohim and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instructions in righteousness. Hence the part is for instructions in righteousness. All right. Let's keep going with the book of Yirmiyahu. It says, for I will restore health unto you and will heal you of your wounds, saith Yahuah, because they called you an outcast, saying, this is Zion, whom no man seeks after. So just like Israel is a people, Israel is a place. Zion is a people, Zion is a place. Jerusalem is a people. Jerusalem is a place. All right. So all that's going to come later on. We start talking about when things come down and where everyone's going. They're going to be named after their city. All right. So anyway, thus saith Yahuwah, behold, I will bring again the captivity of Jacob's tent and have mercy on his dwelling places, and the city shall be built upon her own heap, and the palace shall remain after the manner thereof. And out of them shall proceed thanksgiving and the voice of them that makes merry, and I will multiply them, and they shall not be few. You ever heard that before in the garden? And then to the Abraham, and then to the forefathers, right? Same thing. I will also esteem them, and they shall not be small. Okay, it says, their children also shall be as aforetime, and their congregation shall be established before me, and I will punish all that oppress them. Now I gotta ask you guys, who's gonna do that? He said,
Father.
Okay, so because sometimes we do it, and then we say, well, the Father told me to do it, right? But then the outcome is not the same. Something's wrong with that. Okay. All right. But if he told you, so be it. All right. Yirmiyahu 30:22 says, and you shall be my people, and I will be your Elohim. Yes. Behold, the whirlwind of Yahuwah. You keep hearing this whirlwind. I want you to keep in mind this. Of Yahuwah goes forth with fury, and a continuing whirlwind shall fall with pain upon the head of the wicked. The fierce anger of Yahuwah shall not return until he has done it, and until he has performed the intents of his heart. When? In the latter days, you shall consider it. Then it says, at the same time, saith Yahuwah, will I be the Elohim of all the families of Israel, and they shall be my people. Okay, so now think about what's happening. Look at what happened in the latter days. Number one, the anger of Yahuwah will be poured out. Number two, until he has poured out the intent of his heart, not your heart, not how you feel because what happened to you, I need to give this back, but intent of his heart. At the same time, all families of Israel will be his people. But when will this happen? In the latter days. So put latter days and at that time together. Okay. 31 verse 8. Behold, I will bring them from the north country and gather them from the coasts of the earth, and with them the blind and the lame and the woman and with child and her that travails with child. Together a great company shall return here. They shall come with weeping, and with supplications will I lead them. I will cause them to walk by the rivers of waters in a straight way, wherein they shall not stumble. For I am a father to Israel, and Ephraim is my firstborn. Hear the words of Yahuwah, nations, and declare it in the isles afar off, and say, he that scattered Israel. I mean, because it wasn't he that did it, it was the nations that scattered. Oh, okay. So he that scattered. Oh, okay. They were used. Okay. Will gather him and keep him as a shepherd does his flock. For Yahuwah has redeemed Jacob, Jacob, and ransomed him from the hand of him that was stronger than he. Therefore, they shall come and sing in the height of Zion, and shall flow together to the goodness of Yahuwah for the wheat and for the wine. That's what we do now. We get the wheat and the wine and some oil. Okay. And for the young and for the folks and for the herd. So I know we got wheat. We get some good bread. We have some good challah bread. Right? I know we had some good yayin, some good wine, right? Yayin, right? Good. And then the oil of gladness. Some of us take too much of that oil. But just in case you're just looking for a place. I understand. All right. And then it says, and their soul shall be as the watered garden, and they shall not have sorrow anymore at all. And again, this watered garden, everyone keeps hearing this picture, keeps going back. All right, keep that in mind. All right. 31:13 says, then shall the virgin rejoice in the dance, both young men and old together, for I will turn their mourning into joy and will comfort them and make them rejoice from their sorrow. Now it says, and I will do what? Satiate. Yes, satisfy the full, make full. Satiate the soul of the priest with fatness, and my people shall be satisfied with my goodness, saith Yahuah. So he's going to satiate, or he's going to make the souls of the priests, he's going to make them full. How does that happen? By the Spirit, right? Okay, so first, when you look at this here in Yeshayahu, Isaiah 66:20, it says, and they shall bring all your brethren from an offering unto Yahuah out of all nations, upon the horses and the chariots and the litters, upon mules and upon swift beasts, to my Chodesh mountain, Jerusalem, saith Yahuah. And the children of Israel, or Yisrael, brings an offering in a clean vessel into the house of Yahuah. And I will also take of them for priests and for Lewim, or for Levites, saith Yahuah. All right, so when this captivity comes back, he's going to use these nations to bring them back from where all that they've been scattered, the Levites. And then after that, he's going to satiate their souls. Okay, he's going to fill them up with something, with fatness, and with, and I'm not saying fat like they're really going to be fat, I mean, okay, great. All right. Yeah. Yeah, they're going to be eating a lot of meat. No, I'm just messing. Okay. All right. Now, that's the Levites. I mean, right, the priesthood, the Levites, right? So the book of, or the Testament of Benjamin and the adult of Levi. All right, so it says, but in your allotted place. Now, mind you, first little history for the Testament of Benjamin. So the Testament of Benjamin is roughly about the 1st to 2nd century CE. Okay, and you're going to see the language in here is going to resemble somebody. But the Testament of Levi is older. That's actually before Mashiach comes on the scene. Okay, just so we're clear. All right, so listen, it says, but in your allotted place will be the temple of Elohim, and latter the temple will exceed the former in esteem. Now listen to what happens. The 12 tribes shall be gathered there, and all the nations, until such time as the Most High shall send forth his salvation through the ministration of a unique prophet. Okay, now listen to this about this unique prophet. He shall enter the first temple, and there Adonai will be abused, the master will be abused, and will be raised up on wood, and the temple curtain shall be torn, and the spirit of Elohim will move on all the nations as a fire is poured out, and he shall ascend from Hades and shall pass on from earth to heaven. I understand how humble he will be on the earth and how splendid in heaven. Now, everyone sees who this is, right? So we know Yahushua Mashiach can put this together, but Levi says, listen, and you shall act lawlessly, Israel, or Yisrael, or Israel, with the result that Jerusalem cannot bear the presence of your wickedness, but the curtain of the temple will be torn. Now, this is written beforehand, before Matthew to Revelations, so that it will no longer conceal your shameful behavior. Could it be that when that veil was torn, that it opened up in the temple, but it also exposed who they are? Okay. All right. Just a thought. All right. Now, this book here is Mizmor Shalomo, or the Psalm of Solomon, right? 1st to 2nd century BCE, says this. And he will bring together a Kodesh people, whom he will lead in righteousness, and he will judge the tribes of the people that have been made Kodesh by Yahuah the Elohim. What does that mean first, the first part? Yeah. Right. So I want you to understand he's going to lead them in righteousness. So he's going to, who is these Kodesh people? Okay. Okay. He's going to bring together the Kodesh people. If you read above, obviously you'll see it's Israel, but we'll keep reading in a minute. Right. But he's going to lead them in righteousness. And he will judge the tribes of the people that have been made set apart by Yahuah, their Elohim. This is how he's going to, same thing he's going to do with the Levites, same thing he's going to do with the other 12 tribes. All right, and he will not permit unrighteousness to pause among them any longer, and any man who knows wickedness will not live with them. For he will know them that they are all children of their Elohim. He will distribute them in their tribes upon the land. The sojourners and the foreigners will no longer dwell beside them. Right? There has to be I got to clean my house out. Remember, he talks about this cleaning that has to happen. Right?
That should have happened when Joshua went in there.
Mm-hmm. But he says, hey, listen, judgment starts
at the house of Yahuah.
Okay, in his house, right? He said, I will judge the people and the nations in the wisdom of his righteousness. Pause. And he will have Gentile nations serving him under his yoke, and he will esteem Yahuah in a place visible from the whole earth. And he will cleanse Jerusalem to reach a sanctification as she has from the beginning, so that nations will come from the ends of the earth to see his esteem, bringing as gifts her children who have become quite weak. Who became quite weak? Israel became really weak. Okay. And to see the esteem of Yahuah with which Elohim has esteemed her. And he will be a righteous king over them, taught by Elohim. There will be no unrighteousness among them in his days, for all will be Kadesh, and their king will be Mashiach Ha'adon. Okay, will be the Messiah, the Master. Okay, so again, they understood this was supposed to happen way before Matthews came on the scene. So again, notice that, what's happening here. He's going to show you how he's going to bring the 12 tribes back. He got enters a judgment with them, make the two sticks one, create a temple. There's going to be no distractions when this part takes place, right? Then there's going to be a greater, because we're going to read later on, he's talking about a remnant first, and then there's going to be a greater one that's going to come out as a greater exodus, and there are going to be a lot of people attached to them later, right? So these are all done in stages. All right, let's keep going. Back to Yirmiyahu. So he says, is Ephraim my dear son? Is he a pleasant child? For since I spoke against him, I do earnestly remember him still. Therefore, my bowels are troubled for him. I will surely have mercy upon him, saith Yahuah. So, of course, this is talking about Ephraim. And you can read about the two sticks right here in Ezekiel, Yekizichael 37:19. It says, say unto them, thus saith Adonai Yahuah, behold, I will take the stick of Yehuseph or Joseph, which is in the hands of Ephraim and the tribe of Yisrael or Israel, his fellows, and will put them with him, even with the stick of Yehudah, and make them one stick, and they shall be one in my hand. And say unto them, thus saith Adonai Yahuah, behold, I will take the children of Yisrael or Israel from among the heathens or the Gentiles or the nation, whether they go, whither they be gone, and will gather them on every side and bring them into their own land. And I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel, and one king shall be king to them all. And they shall be no more two nations, neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms anymore at all. Okay, so again, there's a future prophecy that's supposed to take place. Okay. Yirmiyahu 31:21 says, set you up waymarks, make you high heaps, set your heart towards the highway, even the way which you went to turn again. O virgin of Israel, turn again to these your cities. Start thinking about home. Start getting comfortable where you're at. You know, turn again to these. I got a 30-year mortgage on it. You know, listen, I don't want my credit to be all messed up. You see how good I'm doing over here in the land? In this land, why can't he just bless me here? You know, and protect me here. And then when a chariot come or a flying saucer come, pick us up, and then I'll be ready to go then. Okay. It may happen. You know, hey, okay. All right. However they look at it. All right. 31:27. Behold, the days come, saith Yahuah, that I will sow the house of Israel and the house of Yehudah or Judah with the seed of man and with the seed of beast. Now, what does that mean? He's going to sow the house. Now, mind you, behold, the days come. So that tells you first it's a future time. And when that future time come, the house of Israel and the house of Yehudah and the seed of man and the seed of beast, what's going to happen? So if he's going to sow, what does sow mean?
Plant.
Okay, so he's going to plant. I want you to think about plant, zara, seed. The house is going to start to grow like plants. It's going to start to grow. Beasts are going to start to come back in the land. Well, there's no beast. There's no beast in the land. That's why Zion is in Africa, because they got the beast. Right? But he just said, listen, I'm going to bring those back. So let's try to figure out now why it's not here now. This is not the time. Okay. So anyway, and it shall come to pass that like as I have watched over them to pluck up and to break down and to throw down and to destroy and to afflict, so will I watch over them to build and to plant, saith Yahuah. See, he's going to plant them. They're going to begin to grow. In those days, they shall say no more, the fathers have eaten a sour grape, and the children's teeth are set on edge. But everyone shall die for his own iniquity. Every man that eats the sour grape, his teeth shall be set on edge. Okay, is anyone with me so far? Yirmiyahu 31:31. Everyone's familiar with the covenant. Behold, the days come, saith Yahuah, that I will make a new or renewed covenant with the house of Israel or Yisrael and with the house of Yehudah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Mitzrayim, which my covenant they break, although I was a husband unto them, saith Yahuah. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Yisrael or Israel. After those days, saith Yahuah, I will put my law in their inward parts. That means there's a part where we're going to still keep the law. Okay. And it's going to be in our inward parts and write it on their hearts and will be their Elohim, and they shall be my people. And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, know Yahuah, for they shall, well, for some shall know me from the, okay. That's what I'm trying. Okay. That's good. All right. So they say, shall all know me from the least of them unto the greatest of them, saith Yahuah, for I will forgive their iniquities and I will remember their sins no more. Okay. Remember, the time period is latter days. They're thinking of, oh, it's done already happened. It's done. Are you sure? So the scripture is restated in the book of Hebrews, chapter 8, 7 through 12. So to let you know, even in the book of Hebrews, it's still understood what's going to happen in the future. All right. All right. Yirmiyahu 32:37 says, behold, I will gather them out of all countries, whether I have driven them in my anger. So now I was upset. Now, let me ask y'all a question, because I know what Yahuah does. I'm just a little survey here. When you guys get angry, do you guys be driving people out your life?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, get out my room.
Huh?
Get out my sight. I don't want to see you right now. Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
So
I don't want to talk to you right now.
everyone sees, and I understand that you guys are getting this because you read this scripture.
No, it's in this.
Oh, okay. All right. So, okay, because you're driving them out. I don't need you no more. Have a good day. All right. Have driven them in my anger and in my fury and in great wrath. And I will bring them again unto this place, and I will cause them to dwell safely. And they shall be my people, and I will be their Elohim. And I will give them one heart and two ways.
One way. And but one.
I gotta go back to the VA. I gotta get some more glasses. Okay. One heart, one way, that they may fear me forever, for the good of them and of their children after them.
Yes.
How many of us worry about our children now?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Worry about your children now. He said, listen, I got to protect it. But we got to do what he tells us to do so that they can be protected. Right? All right. And I will make an everlasting covenant with them, that I will not turn away from them to do them good, but I will put my fear in their hearts, that they shall not depart from me. Yea, I will rejoice over them to do them good, and I will plant them in this land, and assuredly with my whole heart and with my whole nephesh, my whole soul. So he's letting you know he's going to do this with all that he has, putting his whole thing. But it's going to be given one heart and one way. Right now, we got a bunch of ways. Yeah. Right, everyone's going on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, and they got all kinds, but they're all talking about one thing. They all know Yah. You can call it Yah, Yahuah, 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 the Lord,
Yahweh,
Yahweh, whatever it is, but they don't have one way though. There are a bunch of different ways, and all those ways mean the same. So he says, no. That's why the way you guys are doing it, I got to show you how to do it.
Show me.
Okay,
Hallelujah.
We need it. All right. What comes with a one heart? One heart, what comes with that? All right. One heart.
One mind.
One mind, okay.
Unity. One direction.
One action, one accord. Okay.
Unity.
Unity, okay. So, I mean, is that something that we all desire? No? Okay, so does Yah's people desire that?
Can.
Okay. So if Yahuah's people desire that, why can't we achieve it?
Because we're not all on one accord.
Okay. So we all don't have one way. We got one heart. So our one heart is, I want all of us to be one.
Yes.
But them ways is boom, boom, boom. Ways is everywhere. I'm gonna show you how to get one heart. You got to do it my way. I'm not gonna do it your way. You gotta do it my way. You gotta do it this way. Everything changes to somebody's way, but we all claiming we all want one heart though. We want that one heart. Okay, so let's look at something here. Ezekiel says, therefore, thus saith Adonai Yahuah, I will even gather you from the people. And maybe that's the problem because we're still among these people, and it might cause us to have that look. Yeah. Maybe that's part of it, right? Because how many of us, you don't like what you hear, right? Yeah, separate them. But think about it. How many of us that work, okay? May something happen. I don't care if it's at the assembly or a feast day or just something. You don't tell the person who you work with, your coworker, the names or anything, but you want to share why you upset. And they're going to give you counsel.
Really?
Now, I'm not going to tell you they're giving you righteous counsel. I'm just telling you they will give you counsel. What do you think about when, man, I almost smacked the taste out that person's mouth? Girl, I would have. No, because that wouldn't have been righteous. Girl, but how did it make you feel? I told you. So none of us do that. No one shares that. Okay. All right. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
We don't tell our friend who we call friend, huh? Okay.
Help y'all.
Yeah.
Help y'all.
I got to
Guilty.
tell you, I can't believe that person.
Guilty.
But there's a big smile
Yes,
when you
we
see
do,
him.
Moreh. Yes, we do. Yes, we do say it.
Oh
Guilty.
yeah.
I
Mhm.
can't believe they did that.
Oh yeah. There you see him again. Shalom. Ma shalom ka. Nasada toda. You're going to the land too? Me too. Yeah, got it. All right. All right. So we'll keep going. So he says, I will even gather you from the people. He got to separate us from the people. Okay. And assemble you out of the country where you have been scattered. And I will give you the land of Israel. And they shall come here, and they shall take away all the detestable things thereof, and all the abomination thereof from thence. And I will give them one heart, and I will put a new spirit within you, and I will take the stony heart out of their flesh, and will give them a heart of flesh. Now, you know that's repeated in Ezekiel 36. So we'll keep going. It says that they may walk in my statutes and keep my ordinance and do them, and they shall be my people, and I will be their Elohim. But as for them whose heart walks after the heart of their detestable things and their abominations, I will recompense their way upon their own heads, saith Adonai Yahuah. Yeah, be careful. If you want to do it your way, you're going to find yourself in a world of hurt. Okay. But again,
Moreh, that sounds like the wilderness experience.
yeah. It's going to happen again. It's a repeat. All right. So we're in Ezekiel, as you all know. 38:14 says, therefore, son of man, prophesy and say unto Gog, thus saith Adonai Yahuah, in that day, when my people of Israel or Yeshua dwells safely, shall you not know it? And you shall come from your place out of the north parts, you and many people with you, and all them riding upon horses, a great company and a mighty army. So first, I want you to think about something here. Is Jeremiah said that? Now Ezekiel saying, can you ever see how this is progressing through the prophets? Because as we move into the Brit Kadashah, or the New Testament, if you will, you're going to see this process is ongoing until it's achieved. All right. So he says, and you shall come up against my people of Yisrael as a cloud to cover the land. It shall be in the latter days. There's your word. So we in latter days, we've been marching through each prophet. Here comes it again. And I will bring you against my land, that the heathen and the nations may know me, when I shall be sanctified and purified in you, O Gog, before their eyes. 39:28 says, then shall they know that I am Yahuah, Ani Yahuah, their Elohim, which caused them to be led into captivity among the heathens or the nations or the Gentiles. But I have gathered them unto their own land and have left none of them any more there. Now, wait a minute. So how does that work? He's not going to leave none there. You want to know how this is supposed to work? Okay. Keep that in mind. Neither will I hide my face anymore from them, for I have poured out my spirit upon the house of Israel, saith Adonai Yahuah. So again, there's going to be a time when this takes place. Then here comes the gathering of the people. Right now, I'm not talking about the rebellious ones, because even they talk about them being in the wilderness too. And he says he's going to purge the rebels out of them. Right. So they're going to be a lot that's going to be coming out. They're coming out injured, hurt, broken, all kinds of ways. Right. So just keep that in mind. But this is a massive exodus. All right. Proverbs, the pouring of the spirit of Yahuah. Proverbs 1:22 says, how long, you simple ones, will you love simplicity and the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. Turn you at my reproof. Remember that reproof for coming. Where's the reproof again? Instruction, scriptures. Okay, turn to it. Behold, I will pour out my spirit where? Onto you, and I will make known my word unto you. So I want you to take note here, spirit, what the spirit is doing, because there's a summary of the spirit later on. Take note what the spirit is working. His spirit is going to be working in those that want the spirit to work in them. Anyway, 24 says, because I have called and you refused. Now, how many of us do that? I'm just curious.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Anyone? Maybe you don't understand. So I'm not talking about him literally coming down, talking to you, said, Father, no, because I know you'd be scared to death. Right? So clearly it can't be that. So it has to be another way. Can anyone tell me another way?
Through his word.
Okay. Now I can talk back to his word. What else?
Through his shepherds.
Through his shepherds. I can talk back to the shepherds. Who else?
Dreams and visions.
Breaking Shabbat, doing your own thing on Shabbat.
Okay. Visions or dreams. And within us, right? So understand this refusal, because I have called and you refuse, he can come to you as a messenger unaware. He can come to you by his word, through dreams, through visions, through other people, through leaders. He can do that. Then if you refuse them, you technically refused him. Does everyone see how that works? That doesn't give the right for those that he has done to abuse it, right? Because sometimes that takes place, right? Well, I'm head, so I just say it and I co-sign Yah's name on it.
Do that if you want to.
Okay, you'd be in some serious trouble, right?
Yeah, when the bill comes through.
Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, when that audit come through.
I don't remember signing this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember saying that.
He got, I say audit because in the last days what happens? The books are open, right? He said, hey, let me see how your debts are. Mm-hmm. I remember this here. I remember you. Father, give me a chance. Check out my talents. All right. Anyway. He says, I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded. But you have set at naught all my counsel and with none of my reproof. Joel 2:20 says, and it shall come to pass afterwards that I will pour out my spirit upon some of the flesh.
All flesh.
Oh, man. Okay, let me get closer to the board. All right. I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Your old men shall dream dreams. Your young men shall see visions. And also upon the servants and upon the handmaidens in those days will I pour out my spirit.
Yeah,
right.
Everybody.
I put servants and upon handmaidens in green. What does that mean? So, who are servants?
I'm a servant.
Okay.
We are servants, the people that do the Most High's will, that follow his law, statutes, and commandments. We're servants.
No, I think the servants here is talking about the gers.
No. They want servants. And what's a handmaiden then? What are handmaidens?
That's the Isaiah 14 right there, man. Those are the servants right there that he's gonna pour his spirit on.
Some people have a problem with being a handmaiden. Some people have a problem with the male servant.
Not me.
Huh? He said, no, I'm clear. I'm clear. Okay. All right. So we all do know what a servant is. So I didn't put that Hebrew there, but I wanted to put up handmaiden up there just so we're clear about what it means. The root is shafcha. Now listen to this word. Shifcha. It's a cognate of the Ugaritic where it means family, and sometimes offspring. And in Phoenician, it means family. These are the old definitions. But look at the word there. Shifcha. If you put a mem in front of it, mishpacha. You see that? Becomes family. So these people becomes a part of you. These servants, male servants or handmaidens, they become a part of your family to help the family. Okay, is everyone with me so far?
Yes.
All right.
Yes,
So I heard some say, I don't mind being a servant. I don't mind being a servant. But some people, huh? But some of us may have to understand they might be handmaidens. Right now, I'm not talking about concubines and things like that, right? In other words, I'm saying handmaidens to help out. Right. Yeah, because some people might break that down in the English. See, that's a handmaiden. So they take their hand and they, okay, good. We'll keep going. All right, we'll keep going. All right. I wasn't sure, All right. The pouring out of the Spirit of Yahuah. We're almost done. And it shall come to pass in the last days or the latter days, saith Elohim. And I put last days are things done in cycles, but become stronger at each cycle. Nothing new under the sun means that it has happened before. It just gets stronger each time. So when you have last days, it's a cycle of days that each one have an age. That's the last day. Is everyone with me? But it's still going. It's still a cycle going. All right. I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh. Now, where did you read that from? In Joel, right? In Joel, he says, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and the old men shall dream dreams. And on my servant and on my handmaidens, I will pour out in those days of my spirit, and they shall prophesy. Okay, and it didn't say in that day, in those days, plural. Okay, now I want us to go over these really quick 4 things. The Spirit shall be one of the signs in the last days. Okay, the sealing agent, if you will. In other words, the Spirit's going to be doing some sealing. It's going to be doing a lot of work. Number 2, the pouring of His Spirit is to also help lead and guide you. Everyone's familiar with that, right? Yahuah, I mean, in John, I think it's 16:13. All right. Number 3, it provides fruit for His purpose and in you. The Spirit, fruit of the Spirit. All right. To give you comfort, and in that comfort, it supports you in what you cannot see. Things wrestled. You wrestle not against flesh and blood, but okay. So you need some comfort. You need some help. The Spirit does these things, right? There's a spiritual war going on. All right. So in closing here, so in order to see if you are worthy of the fullness of His Spirit, we have to go through trials, obedience, knowledge, wisdom, understanding. The main part is your spirit and your decisions or your decisions. You got to make up in your mind, in your spirit, you got to make a decision what you're going to do. So He will do His part, providing you do your part. Everyone see how that works. So if you make up in your mind, Father, listen, meaning man has a spirit, mankind has their own spirit, right? All right. And so you make a decision. That decision can't be contingent on something. You can't be, governed or partial. You give what you want to give Him. So you have to give Him it all. And in return, he can give you your knowledge, your wisdom, your understanding. He can give you these things, your protection, His Spirit, a hedge of protection around you. But sometimes these trials might throw you off. He might do that for a purpose. The trial might to see how strong you are. Hey, this trial is working on me. I'm done with this trial. Right? And Father says, but I want to use you. But this trial is not going to make you weak. I only gave you something that you can bear. So it should make you stronger. Right?
unless I start rejecting and despising and start rebelling and get
Right.
stiff-necking.
Jesus, then you're trying to figure out, well, why not me? They said, well, let's look at your track record. Let's just go back 6 months, 7 months, a year, meaning, when you're trying to figure some things out, you be like, wow, I did. Yeah, I did do that. Yeah. Okay, but I know I was good on this month. This month here, I did really good, but I didn't see you. Why? Because he knows your heart. But I did bad the following month. So I go up, I go down, I go up, I go down. I become unstable, right? Double-minded is unstable in some of their ways. Man, I keep getting all in some. I keep getting that all mixed up. Okay, so everyone see how this works. All right. Any questions?
Moreh, what is Gog?
Gog is a place. Gog and Magog. It's a place up in the European Turkey / Germany type area up there. Now, for those that live up there, I'm sorry. She just asked a question.
Toda.
Yeah. Anyone else? Okay. Well, if all hearts and mind is clear, we will close out.
Oh, yeah.
And then after that, we'll switch over to the Hebrew class and go from there.
All right. As usual, we have so much to think about, so much to consider. Please don't just let this go in one ear and out of the other. Please take your time, go back, review the lesson. Put it in your heart, commit it to your heart. Your life depends on it. Your life depends on it. Who has the prayer, Aki? All right.
All right, let us prostrate ourselves as we go before our Yahuah. Baruch atah Yahuah Eloheinu melech haolam. We give all esteem and honor unto you for this opportunity to be able to gather once again in your name. We thank you for the message which has gone forth here today, that you have blessed us with through Moreh, and that let it be placed in our hearts and in the forefront of our minds as we go out. Let us continually seek you in all in which we do. For it is only through you, our Yahuah, that we can be strengthened, that we will have the wisdom to be able to guard our gates against what is out here in this world. For there is nothing out there for us. We seek you and your kingdom in all things in which we do. So we thank you for continuing to choose us even though we may have rejected you, for continuing to love us even through the times in which we have not loved you. We ask and pray for anything that has gone on this week that we have said or done or thought that was not of you, that you purge us, that you cleanse us, that you continue to write your Ruach upon our hearts. Of Yahuah, we know that there are those who are struggling with some things right now that are out here, whether it's illness or things in their personal life and their finances and their jobs and in their families. So we ask and pray that you meet them where they are, for you know what their needs are and you know the plans in which you have for them. So we ask that you comfort them, that you strengthen them. We ask and pray that as we go into this Hebrew class, that to learn your language, your word, that we get better at understanding the meaning so that we can do better as a nation. We thank you. We ask and pray that you bless the food that we are about to receive, and bless the hands that prepared it and all those who have contributed and all those who wanted to contribute but may not have been able to. We ask and pray that you bless our mores and continue to increase them in their borders. Bless their families and bless the families of all those who are a part of the Knesset, here in person and online. We thank you. We thank you for this opportunity to be able to gather in your name, and you have promised us that where there are 2 or 3, that there you are in the midst of them. So we thank you for your Kodesh presence here today. As it has been asked, let it be so according to you and your will, as we ask and pray these things of you in the name of our beloved King and High Priest, Yahuah HaMashiach. Amen. Selah. Hallelujah.
Amen.
Amen.
Hallelujah.